Before you move on to whatever is next, give me just a few minutes. Not distracted minutes, not the kind where half your mind is already somewhere else. I want to say something to you that I think you have been needing to hear, maybe for a while now, and I do not want it to get lost in the noise of everything else pulling at your attention today. I want to start with a question. When was the last time you actually felt proud of yourself, not because of something you achieved, but simply because of who you were being in a hard moment? Most of us measure our worth through outcomes, the promotion, the recognition, the visible proof that we are doing well. But I think the truer measure of a life is quieter than that. It is how you show up when nothing is being measured, when no one is watching, when the outcome is uncertain and all you have is your own character to fall back on. I want to tell you something that took me a long time to understand. You are allowed to be proud of effort even when the results have not arrived yet. So much of our culture teaches us to wait for outcomes before we celebrate anything, as though trying does not count until it produces something visible. But trying counts. Showing up on the hard days counts. Choosing honesty when a small lie would have been easier counts. These things build a person quietly, over years, long before any external outcome ever confirms that the building was worth it. I want to talk about the specific ache of feeling like you are always the one holding everything together. If this describes you, the friend everyone calls when they are struggling, the family member who manages every crisis, the person who has quietly become responsible for everyone else's stability, I want you to know something important. You are allowed to need support too. You are allowed to fall apart occasionally without that being a failure of your role. The people who depend on your strength would not stop loving you if they saw you struggle. In fact, most of them would probably feel closer to you, not further away, if you let them see the parts of you that are also tired, also uncertain, also in need of care sometimes. I think many of us learned early that our value came from being useful, from being the reliable one, and so we built our entire identity around never being a burden. But this identity, however well-intentioned, eventually becomes its own kind of prison, because it means you can never fully receive the same care you so easily offer everyone else. I want to gently invite you to notice, this week, one moment where you could let someone help you instead of insisting you are fine. It does not have to be dramatic. It can be as small as saying, honestly, I am having a hard time today, to someone who has earned the right to hear it. I want to talk about the specific exhaustion of trying to be everything to everyone, the perfect employee, the perfect parent, the perfect friend, the perfect partner, all at once, without ever pausing to ask whether this constant performance is actually sustainable. I do not think it is. I think most of us are running on a kind of quiet depletion that we have simply gotten used to, mistaking exhaustion for normal life because we cannot remember what it felt like to not be exhausted. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know that slowing down is not the same as giving up. It is simply an acknowledgement that you are a human being with actual limits, not a machine designed for endless output. I want to say something about the specific fear of disappointing people, because I think it quietly controls more decisions than almost any other fear we carry. We are taught, often without anyone meaning to teach us this directly, that disappointing someone we love is one of the worst things we can do. And so we shape our choices, our boundaries, even our identities, around avoiding that disappointment, sometimes at the cost of our own well-being. But disappointing someone is not the same as harming them. It simply means their expectation and your reality did not match, and that mismatch, uncomfortable as it feels, is not automatically your fault to fix by shrinking yourself to fit their expectation instead. The people who genuinely love you, the ones capable of loving the real version of you rather than a performance designed to please them, will eventually adjust to your honesty, even if the adjustment takes time. And the people who cannot adjust, who need you to remain small and predictable in order to stay comfortable, are revealing something important about the actual nature of that relationship, something worth knowing clearly rather than continuing to hide from behind years of careful accommodation. I want to talk about the quiet courage it takes simply to rest, because I think, in a culture obsessed with productivity, rest has quietly become something we feel we need to earn rather than something we are simply allowed to have. How often do you actually let yourself rest without a background hum of guilt, without mentally listing everything you should be doing instead? If the honest answer is rarely, I want you to consider where that belief came from, The belief that your value is measured by your output, that stillness is only acceptable once every task has been completed, when in reality, the list of tasks never actually ends, it simply regenerates itself endlessly. Rest is not something you have to earn through exhaustion. It is something you are allowed to choose, deliberately, even in the middle of an unfinished list, because you are a human being, not a machine measured purely by productivity. I want you to notice, the next time you feel that familiar guilt creeping in during a quiet moment, that the guilt itself is not evidence you are doing something wrong. It is simply evidence of a belief you absorbed somewhere along the way, a belief you are allowed to question, and eventually, if you choose, to release. I want to talk about the version of yourself that exists only when you are alone, unperformed, unedited. This version rarely gets addressed directly by the world, because the world mostly talks to the capable, functioning version of you. But I think it is worth checking in with this quieter self regularly, asking honestly how it is actually doing, underneath everything you show everyone else. Most of us have gotten so good at managing our external presentation that we have lost touch with what is actually happening internally, and that disconnect, left unaddressed, tends to widen over time, until eventually even we ourselves are not entirely sure how we are really doing. I want to offer you a simple practice for this. Once a day, even for just a minute, ask yourself honestly, how am I actually doing right now? Not how should I be doing, not how do I want to appear to be doing, just the honest, unfiltered truth. You do not have to fix whatever answer arises. You simply have to know it, because knowing it is the first step toward actually taking care of yourself instead of running on autopilot, managing everyone else's needs while your own quietly go unattended. I want to talk about the specific relief of admitting that you do not have to have your whole life figured out right now. Not your career, not your relationships, not the deeper question of who you are becoming. You are allowed to still be discovering that, slowly, imperfectly, one honest year at a time. Nobody arrives at a fixed, finished identity and simply stays there. Growth does not stop at some magic age where everything clicks into place. It continues, quietly, for as long as you are alive, which means the uncertainty you are carrying right now is not evidence that something has gone wrong. It is simply evidence that you are still, actively, becoming. I think about how differently we treat other people compared to how we treat ourselves. If a friend told you they felt lost, still figuring out their direction, you would never tell them they are not allowed to feel okay until they have it all sorted. You would remind them that uncertainty is part of being human, that everyone is figuring it out as they go. I want you to offer that same patience to yourself tonight, or today, whenever you are listening to this, the patience you so easily extend to everyone else but so rarely extend inward. I want to close by saying something simple. You do not need to wait for some future, more accomplished version of yourself before you are allowed to feel proud of who you are right now. You do not need permission from anyone else to rest, to be gentle with yourself, to trust that you are doing better than your harshest internal voice usually gives you credit for. You are allowed to be exactly where you are, imperfect, still figuring things out, still healing from things you have not fully processed yet, and still, entirely, worthy of the same patience, respect, and care you so easily offer to everyone else. So take a breath. Let your shoulders drop from wherever they have been holding tension. And whatever today still holds for you, I walk into it a little more gently than you walked into yesterday, trusting that you are enough, exactly as you are, right now, in this exact, ordinary, entirely real moment. You stayed until this sentence, and I do not think that was an accident. Some part of you already knew you needed to hear this today. I want to add one more thought before I let you go, because I think it deserves its own space rather than being rushed past. I want to talk about the specific comfort of remembering that you have survived every difficult season that has already happened in your life. Every time you were certain you could not handle something, and yet you did. Every time doubt convinced you that this was the thing that would finally break you, and it did not. That track record is real. It is not proof that everything ahead will be easy, but it is proof that you are far more capable than your tired, anxious mind usually gives you credit for. I want you to carry that proof with you, quietly, as evidence that whatever comes next, you already know how to meet it. I want to talk about the quiet power of choosing patience with yourself, especially during the seasons that feel slow, uneventful, indistinguishable from the day before. Not every chapter of a life is dramatic or transformative. Many of the most important years are actually built from long stretches of quiet consistency, unremarkable in the moment, only revealing their significance much later, when you look back and realize that all those ordinary days, stacked together, actually built something meaningful. If this season of your life feels uneventful right now, I want you to trust that ordinary days, repeated with care and consistency, are exactly how meaningful lives are actually built. I want to remind you, one more time, that you are not required to have a perfect relationship with yourself before you are allowed to treat yourself with basic kindness. You can be in the middle of struggling with your own self-worth and still deserve gentleness in that exact struggle. That gentleness is available to you right now, in this exact imperfect moment, not reserved for some future version of you who has finally sorted everything out. Before I truly close, I want to leave you with something small and practical. Choose one thing today, just one, something small enough that you can actually do it. Maybe it is speaking to yourself a little more gently the next time you make a mistake. Maybe it is finally telling someone the truth you have been holding back. Maybe it is simply allowing yourself to rest without guilt, even for 10 minutes, without needing to earn it first. Whatever it is, let it be small and real, because a single honest choice, however small, is how an entire relationship with yourself slowly begins to change, one gentle decision at a time, until eventually, the harshness you have been carrying starts to feel less familiar than the peace you have been quietly building instead. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too far gone to become who you actually want to be. You are simply here, right now, in the middle of your own becoming, and that, more than any achievement or milestone, is genuinely enough. If today turns out to be hard, if old doubts creep back in before this feeling has a chance to settle, remember you can return to this same truth as many times as you need to. It does not expire after one reading. You are allowed to come back to it, again and again, for as long as you need reminding.